Hey, you guys, welcome to Beyond the Veil with me, Adina. You guys, I wasn't gonna I hadn't planned to do a reading today, and I was just sitting here with my friend Natasha, y'all. Hey,
Hey
Natasha.
y'all.
And I was like, I just, I didn't plan on doing a reading, but I feel like doing a reading. And I was like, but I don't know what I want to do a reading on. So I'm going to give myself 5 minutes. And if I don't think of anything to read on, then I'm not going to do it because I don't like to force it if I don't feel anything. And I knew I didn't want to do a celebrity reading because, like I was telling Natasha, they're all in the same predicaments in one way or the other. So it gets redundant reading anybody in the industry because they're all dealing with the same stuff in some kind of way. And I hadn't done a reading for someone on the other side in a while. So I was like, I'm going to sit here and then I'm going to call out to the spirits and see if anybody had anything to say and wanted to be read. And y'all know what happened? In my mind, I saw Whitney Houston do this. And so I was like, in my mind, I'm like, okay. But then y'all know as her hand was up, I saw her other hand push Bobby Christina forward. And I said, okay, I'm going to read Bobby Christina. And then as my friend was sitting here like, oh, I love Whitney and da-da-da-da-da. And she started like, I hope Whitney knows that I loved her. And then Whitney was already speaking back. And I hadn't even got my cards out, gotten the camera rolling. So I had to hurry up and press play while the energy was flowing because you guys already missed some good stuff. But I guess that was something that wasn't meant to be shared on camera. My friend was fortunate enough to be able to hear that tea.
For real. That was deep.
So without further ado, you guys, I'm not gonna ask any questions because I'm just gonna read Bobby Christina. That's just how this is gonna go. I'm just gonna flip the cards and see what Bobby Christina has to say. And I will say what came out before I started recording was that Whitney was feeling at some point in her life, not that she feels this way before, because she was adamant that these were earthly concerns and she didn't feel this way anymore. She's moved on now that she's elevated and evolved in her spirit. But she felt as a mother that Bobby Christina wasn't able to shine as bright as her soul was capable of shining because of her being Whitney Houston. And that is something that she, held within herself as a mother, that sometimes she felt like if Bobby Christina had another mother, she would have been able to fulfill her full capability in life without always being in a shadow, because she saw that Bobby Christina struggled also with the comparisons of being Whitney Houston's daughter. But I had to hope that Whitney Houston knew, which she allegedly spiritually, in my own spiritual imagination, said that she did know now, was that part of Bobby Christina's light that she wanted to see her child be able to shine so brightly, it came from her being Whitney Houston's daughter. So if she was somebody else's mother, she wouldn't even have that light that Whitney saw in her in the first place. Not just Whitney Houston's daughter, but Bobby Brown's daughter as well, them combined. So if she had a different set of parents, would we even know Bobby Christina? One moment, guys. It's okay. So anyway, guys, but Whitney did, in my spirit, tell me allegedly that she did acknowledge that now that she's on the other side and has a bigger perspective of things. However, that was the reason why she pushed through, but push so that she can get my attention, but then push Bobby Christina through. So we're just going to see what Bobby Christina has to say. And even though I already have their energy here, I'm going to ring the bell so that I can empower Bobby Christina's energy and give her more energy than she had in her earthly life, to be able to roar and say whatever it is that her soul wished it could have said but never got the opportunity to say, because it was drowned out by the voice of her mother. The voice, and that's what they called her mother. She felt drowned out by the voice of her mother. Bobby Christina, darling. Come. Yes, you're already here. But I want to ring this so that you are extra empowered by your ancestors, by all the spiritual ancestors, the ancestral spirits surrounding you, so that you can speak loud. Hold on, let me get a better grip. So that you can speak loud and clear, louder than you've ever been able to speak in your earthly body. You have full reign to speak here, my dear Bobby Christina. I heard her say thank you. You are more than welcome, honey bunny. All right, what do you have to say, Bobby Christina? What is it that you would like to say to my audience? I had so many dreams. I wanted to be a star too. King of Cups. She wanted to be a star. She wanted to release music. She wanted to release albums. She wanted to have a singing career. But because of her mother, being Whitney Houston, the powerhouse artist that she was, she never got the opportunity to have her own powerhouse career, which she dreamed of having. I'm sorry, you guys. Hold on. Here's the burping again.
Confirmation burp.
Not confirmation. This is the spirit. All right. Come on, Dina. Let's not fight it. I ain't had nothing to eat today, so that's why I'm feeling away in my belly, you guys. And somebody told me yesterday to work on my solar plexus, and that's where I feel it right here. Oh, I should have ate something today. All right, you guys.
I should feed you.
Shh. This ain't got nothing to do with you, girl. You ain't got to take these burdens on you. This is me. I know better. I know what I'm supposed to do to be able to deliver these messages. I should have ate before I left the house. Bobby Christina felt alone most of her life. Her challenge position is the hermit reverse. She was alone for the most of her life because her parents were off doing what Whitney and what superstars do. And a lot of her childhood trauma came from those moments when her parents weren't there to protect her. Now, I don't know exactly what I'm going to find when I clarify this. She said so many things. So many things happened to me. So many people had their hands on me. So many men. So many women. Even some of the women in my family. Not only did they physically have their hands on me, they had their hands on my money. After my mother died, this is all alleged. After my mother died, no, this isn't alleged, is what I hear her say. This isn't alleged anything. This is facts. I need to say allegedly, Bobby Christina, to protect myself from liabilities. She said, I got you, girl. This is allegedly to me, but not allegedly to Bobby Christina. This is facts to Bobby Christina, allegedly. And she says they know who they are. And she says, and you know who they are, but you don't have to say their names, allegedly. Feisty little mama. Oh my God. I want to say the name so bad, y'all, because it's ringing so loud in my head. It's...
Is it the auntie?
I didn't say that. Not out of somebody else's mouth who is not even on camera. The name rhymes with rat. And she said there is no better way to describe her. Allegedly. I didn't say nobody's name, so make that of what you will. She said you can clarify it later. I'll tell you everything. Ooh. Ooh. I like you, Bobby. I like you, boo. Ooh. See, if we had met in real life, me, you, and your mama, and you, and your mama, and your daddy, you know what I'm saying? I don't do what they do, but you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We could all rolled up. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry, but I love your daddy.
We could have vibed. We could have vibed because it's a vibe.
It is a vibe.
Allegedly, Bobby Christina likes Krishan Rock, because I hear it's a vibe all the time. And my 36-year-old self don't know nothing about that. I know who Krishan Rock is, but allegedly Bobby Christina would have liked Krishan Rock. And let the cock-a-doodle-doo confirm it. In her past, Bobby Christina found a way out temporarily, because we see where she is now. She outsmarted somebody. Allegedly, person or people who she was with most of the time, where she felt abandoned by her parents and alone because of the things that the people who were responsible for her, allegedly in her family and their cohorts, business, because of the business people were very intermingled with the family, because the Houston family is a brand. They've been in the business. So there's a lot of business mixed with family. Bobby Christina found a way out at some point. Now, out of what? We'll find out. But she found a way out, even if temporarily. She found a way out. She said she outsmarted them. And then what happened next, y'all? So, sidebar, because this card is all the way gone, but I know what it is, and I know what position it's in. I had a personal reading with someone today who's actually a subscriber. Shout out to you. I love you dearly. I won't say your name out of respect and confidentiality, but I love you dearly. And she was saying that she wanted to send me a deck of cards because of my post-struggle cards, y'all. And it's not that I can't get another deck of cards, y'all. It's just that I always felt like until I wore this deck out and I couldn't read them anymore, then I would get a new deck, because the way I initiate and anoint my decks are very personal to me. I put them under my pillow when I get them, and then I sleep on them for 24 hours, and then I usually have a dream. So my cards are very spiritually attached to me. So I do have, this is actually the Two of Swords, and this is upright, believe it or not. She found a way out. However, somebody else was more clever. Two people around her specifically were a little bit more clever and found a way to and capture her back in, because they were always watching. On the Two of Swords, it's the woman with the two swords this way. There's the moon, a crescent moon above her, and her blindfold is not tight. It's a little bit loose. So it's just like we're pretending like we don't see you, because she thought she outsmarted them. She thought she had a way out, and they're like, yeah, we're allowing you to think that you've outsmarted us, but you are being watched. You were always being watched, and there were always 2 steps ahead of you, Bobby Christina. And this is what she's saying. They were always 2 steps ahead of me, and she just didn't know that until now that she's on the other side and can see the parts that she couldn't see then, because she was wondering how she always was sabotaged, because I'm telling you, she said she had outsmarted them for a minute. She was wondering how they got the drop. As above, they did get the drop, and now that she's on the other side, she knows how they got the drop, and she's going to tell me. So below, she says, I couldn't stay off the drugs, man. It was the heavy shit. She said, I wish I was like you, too scared to do. I was just telling my friend how addiction runs in my family. And in order for me to do the spiritual work that I do, because this gift has manifested itself in many members of my family, just not the way it has in me. And it's because I'm too scared to do the heavy stuff, like the other members of my family who also have the gift. And that's that Neptune energy. It can go either way. They have the gift, but the ones who had the gift really strong were also addicts. So they weren't able to operate in their gift. I only smoke weed and I drink. And I tell my friend when I go, if I go before her and y'all want to conjure my spirit, those are what y'all can leave me. Weed, a little bit of wine, a little bit of liquor, you know what I'm saying? Good weed. Don't leave me nothing bad, because I'm not going to do nothing for you. And I shouldn't speak like this, but hopefully these videos
Lord,
will be seen after I'm 100 years old, and then they start trying to leave me stuff, but the good stuff. But Bobby Christina says she wished she was like me, too scared to do the heavy stuff, because that's the only reason why I don't turn out like my family, because I'm too scared to do anything but a little drink and a little weed. And weed is just great for me. It's great. You know, it helps me. It helps me do my work, actually. But anything more than that, I'm too scary. You ain't got to worry about it, because I'm scared. I'm scared I'm going to be the one anomaly that when I do something, my heart going to bust and I'm going to just die. Y'all look.
That's me.
So... So I don't do nothing else but smoke the weed and drink the liquor, because anything else, I feel like I'm gonna die. I feel like my heart gonna bust, because I'm too scary, and I'll panic and my heart will go to beating fast, and then it'll just bust. Bobby Christina, it was the drugs, man. That is where she feels like she got tripped up, because she was into the heavy stuff. And when you are into the heavy stuff, no matter what your intentions are, that boy. I hear her. I don't want to say it out loud, because that's alleged, and I won't put your tea out there, but that boy, and if any of y'all older ones know what that boy is,
I do.
It was that boy that, you know, you can't get that monkey off your back, no matter how well intentioned you are. You can't get that monkey off your back. That's where she got tripped up at. Her saving grace was the show. It was her mother, and it was the little bit of music that she did get to record. This is less of her mother and more of the music that she did get to record, because she did get to do a little something. I don't know if she did a full album, but she recorded some things, and for her, her saving grace was music, singing, music, creativity. In her external energy was the high priestess in reverse. Again, she was always being watched because of what she had, because of who she was, Whitney Houston's daughter. Not only was she being watched, but she was always being plotted against. I hear from the day I was born. From the day I was born, people were plotting against me, because they knew eventually Whitney Houston was going to leave everything to her child. So the day I was born, people were plotting against me. She said I never stood a chance. I hear another name, but I won't say it. But you know what it rhymes with? It rhymes with drive. Give me another word that rhymes with that word that I don't want to see. Drive David in a car. Drive David in a car. Drive David in a car. That's the name I hear. Drive David in a car. The moment Whitney Houston had that baby, Drive David in a car was pissed. How dare America's sweetheart get pregnant at this point in her career, after all the money I invested, after all the plans. Don't get me sued in these streets. These people ain't dumb. They know who I'm talking about. My subscribers know who Drive David is. Beehive David. Anchovies and chive David in a car. As the daisies dries with David. Anyways, How dare Whitney Houston? So the moment Bobby Christina was born, that's when everything changed for Whitney, her career, and Bobby Christina, allegedly. Because that's in her external energy, the high priestess in reverse. That's scheming and plotting behind one's back. Her hopes and fears were that she became successful. That was her hopes and her fears. Was the success, the general success of her, with the general success of the Houston brand. The Houston brand was her hopes and fears because it gave her the life that she lived. So that was the plus side, but it gave her the life that she lived, and that was the negative side as well. Final outcome, you guys. King of Swords, who ordered that? Hit on you. You know what I hear? Drive David in a car. This is a hit. And all I hear is drive David in a car, drive David in a car, drive David in a car. You guys let that play on your mind. If you're still confused, don't ask me in the comments because I'm not going to say it because I ain't getting sued. Which one of y'all got bail, bond, and lawsuit money for me? That kind of money. Drive David. Just play around with it in your spirit. Chew on it and swish it around. Look, I'm going to do some juju on you. If you're confused, swish that around in your mouth. Drive David. Swish that around like mouthwash and just let it swish around. Drive David. Who could this be in Whitney Houston and Bobby Christina's life that has any interest in them? Drive David in a car. Who would be interested in or invested in Whitney Houston? The only person who stood to benefit from Whitney Houston was her child. And then after that, or the day she was born, you know, she became a problem. To who? Who could drive David be? That's a big old mosquito. And I'm scared it's going to get me. Oh, how did I know this was going to come out? 10. Hold on, y'all. I got to try to get this mosquito. Hold on. And I got it, y'all. And I was only paused for like 1 minute. I had to shout out to Bobby, Christina, and Whitney. Because that was a big old mosquito. And I didn't even have to kill it. I just flushed it right out the door. Anyways, the 10 of Swords in reverse. Who put this hit on you? Somebody that actually you knew. That's why this is in reverse. Because at some point, you knew this was coming. Bobby Christina, allegedly. All right, let's get into it. Let's get into some things, child. Let's start off, not with your current energy, because I know what that. I already explained the grief part of your life, but no, you want it to be told. You want all of your story to be told. I hope you guys are in for a ride. I hope y'all are ready for this one because Bobby Christina doesn't deserve. And Whitney, if you love Whitney Houston, then let her child speak her truth. And y'all just ride with me on this one. I would have loved for this to be 15 minutes. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get the lighting right. But if you love Whitney Houston, let her baby speak her truth. And y'all just ride with me on this, please. All right, that's a little bit better. Less glare. All right. Bobby Christina, why right now, why do you want to express yourself with that King of Cups in reverse? All your hopes and dreams unfulfilled. Look, all my hopes and dreams unfulfilled. All my plans that I never even got. It's not even that it's because she's on the other side that she never got to fulfill these dreams. These were dreams that she had that she never got to fulfill even while she was alive. And she already had given up at some point. Towards the end, she had already given up. Towards the reality show era, because it started out good for her. It started out as a way, or at least that was why she entered it. It started out as a way for her to try to get herself out there. She wanted to showcase her talents. But other people had plans. I know y'all can't see this, but this Two of Swords, two people, rat. is one of those people, had plans to showcase her in a different light. Because somebody put in their ear that there would be better ratings. Nobody wants to see Bobbi Kristina sing. She's no Whitney Houston, allegedly. This is the energy that I hear, the conversations that I hear. Nobody's interested in that. If we're going to do this, they got to show her as a shit show. Because in all actuality, she says, allegedly, I was a shit show.
No.
But that wasn't her. That wasn't all of her. That's what they chose to exploit for ratings and views. Her plans were to go and put herself out there so that she could launch a new music career. This Queen of Cups here, this is what she wanted. This is what she lived for. But they had other plans to showcase her in a different light because they knew it would draw in the ratings. All of her plans and hopes and dreams unfulfilled. And like I said, towards the end, she walked away from them because it was just like she had given up. She found something to numb the pain. And that's what she turned to once she realized that she'd never get a chance. Like towards the end of that reality show, once she realized it wasn't what she thought it was going to be, and her reputation was ruined, she found something else to numb her pain. The pain of having to let go of her hopes and dreams. And this is what she spent a lot of her money on. She just went and used to binge out. That's what I hear. I've never heard anybody say binge out. That's not anything I would say, but that's what I hear, binge out. Methinks somebody gave her something in her drugs. This was, I don't know if it was something like fentanyl, but it feels like that. It feels like this was before fentanyl was known to us. But in those circles that she was in, it seems like somebody gave her something in her drugs because they knew that that was the way to get to her. This person, again, this was coordinated and arranged by this man. Same man. They know. After her mother died, it was the only way. Look, Wheel of Fortune in reverse, to get her money. Wheel of Fortune, a Queen of Pentacles. The money that she left to Bobbi Kristina when she was born, after she died, they couldn't get it until Whitney and her other inheritor were gone. Her heir were gone. This person, no matter who was the one to carry it out, no matter what little junkie street kids they got to actually carry it out, this is the same man. Drive David. Same man. Used to pretend like, like they were looking out. Used to pretend like they were looking out. Actually probably helped her. Yeah, I know somebody. I know somebody who's safe. Instead of you going to these people, if you're going to be doing that stuff, Bobbi Kristina, use one of my guys because I know that they're safe. Instead of going to one of those kids that you go to, I'll put you in touch with someone to give you the good stuff so that you don't have to worry about getting your hands on anything bad. The Hermit reversed, challenging you. This is where we get into your childhood trauma. Let's talk about it. While your mother was out making the money, being the Whitney Houston, the voice, bad things were happening to me. while my mother wasn't there to protect me. Empress reverse. I was taken advantage of because I was Whitney Houston's daughter. It's like the people around me, Seven of Cups, always had it out for me because of who my parents were and their success. The people that were around me, Aunt Rat, who never got to fulfill her own dreams. Did she try to have a career too at some point? Wanted to. Wish she could. Hanging around the star, being, living vicariously, but always calling the shots behind the scenes, calling the shots. I know she was Whitney's manager, allegedly. I'm not going to say her name because I didn't say her name. I said Aunt Rat. Calling the shots. Straight into hell. Driving the chariot straight into hell. Everything that happened in my mother's empire was orchestrated in our personal lives. She did the business, and she also ran the family because Whitney was too busy to manage life. She managed her life, and that's why that's part of the reason why it was driven into the ground from somebody else driving it into the ground. Sabotage. Long-term sabotage. Long-term sabotage. Here it is. Came from the bottom of the deck to the top. Since she joined the team, because she didn't start initially, she came in at some point early on when she joined the team. And that actually, if I flipped it, it would have came out this way. Look at that rat. When she joined the team, that was the worst decision, allegedly, that Whitney Houston or whoever made that decision. Did Drive David tell you that it was best for you to have someone in your family around you? Someone around you to control the family or not allow the family to take advantage of you? Did Drive David start partnering with Aunt Rat allegedly at some point? Early on, he was the mastermind behind Aunt Rat, and she was more than happy to work with him because of her envy and jealousy. So whatever he had going on, she was going to make sure that those plans were carried out, even to the point where she knew that something was amiss, willingly, because it was almost a joy to do this. And this is something that Bobby Christina always knew, but she could never communicate that with her mother effectively, because I feel like they talked about it before, but not effectively because she was a child. She wasn't heard. How did you outsmart them? How did you find a way out? I want to say that you got pregnant. No, hold on. Justice, maybe not. Seven of Swords. No. Let me look into this Justice first. No. Let me look into this Page of Pentacles, because I thought that was the baby. No, your way out was because did they have to sneak and put all of Whitney's things in your name? They couldn't let Aunt Pat know. They couldn't let Clive know. They snuck and did that. That was your way out. They snuck and did that. Allegedly, they snuck away somehow and put everything in Bobby Christina's name. They had to sneak and do it. Look, if something happened to me, everything would go to Bobby Christina. If I die, everything would go to Bobby Christina. And I say they had to sneak and do it because of this. They had to sneak and do this legally, file this legal paperwork. That was her way out. That was the outsmart. I said that they outsmarted them. That's how they outsmarted them. Because everybody around them, especially everybody at the label, would have advised her not to. They would have advised her not to. They would have advised her that somehow she would lose everything if she did that, and it would be safer if she left her money in a foundation or in a trust where Drive David could oversee it until Bobby Christina was of a legal age. And I think when that was brought to her attention is when Whitney Houston knew that something was amiss. And at some point, if anything ever happened to me, I want everything to go to my child. I think they had this conversation sometime around the time that Bobby Christina was born. And they started having conversations about her estate. Because now that she has a child, and she's still invested to go farther than this. Everyone who was previously invested into her now are even more concerned about making sure that they're going to control that estate. That's always the plan in the industry, especially when they make you go that big. You think that they're going to let you die and leave it to not them? No. It doesn't work like that. So when she had Bobby Christina, or sometime around within the first few years of Bobby Christina's life, when people started approaching her, when Drive David started allegedly approaching her about if something were to happen to her, what are your plans for your estate? Have you considered leaving it here? And Whitney knew. She knew then that what happened to those before her probably would happen to her. So that's when they snuck away. And allegedly. Look, that conversation is when she knew that the day would come that they would do to her what they've done to others. That the relationship that she ain't as sweet as it was. And if something were to happen to her, she doesn't want her child being caught up in legalities. And concerned about who would support her. But methinks only three people were in on this, and methinks that they were not members of Whitney's family. Whitney, Bobby, and methinks the woman that she allegedly was rumored to have a relationship with. That woman, Whitney, and Bobby went together. Because nobody in the family, nobody connected to the family could know about this. Those were the three people that Whitney trusted to make sure that everything was everything in the event that something happened to her. This Two of Swords that y'all can't see, but I can see. These are the people who were watching. These are the people who they were sneaking away from. The business/family members who were always watching Bobby Christina from the moment she was born. Sabotaging her. Keeping her from opportunities, keeping her from Whitney's money. Because while Whitney was gone and leaving things for Bobby Christina, allegedly, leaving them in charge of accounts to take care of her child, they weren't spending what they said they were spending on Bobby Christina. The poor thing went without, as if she was a regular person. And they would buy things for her so that when Whitney came around, they could dress her up as if she was living the high life like they said that she was. But in her regular day-to-day, She wasn't dressed like that. She wasn't treated like that. She was actually mistreated because of who she was. Look at this. Look at this. 10 of Cups reversed. That her family who she was with, allegedly, she couldn't wait until she got away from them, until her parents would come and take her with them. She couldn't wait because what she was going through there was so traumatic. So much abuse because of the jealousy from everybody. Cousins, friends, everybody, adults, children. It's so bad when even the adults are bullying you, abusing you. Verbal abuse, physical abuse, financial abuse, sexual abuse, allegedly. She went allegedly through it all at the hands of the people closest to her because she was vulnerable, a weak child. And so many people were so greedy around her. Multiple sexual abuse, allegedly. I'm going to skip that. I want to look into this, and then I'm going to try to wrap this up. Because this is what led to her demise. Something had to be done to ensure that the money, the estate that was left to her was not wasted on her. That was so, Whitney Houston's estate was never intended to go to a child. Never. Whitney outsmarted them with that. And she tied it up so legally that there was nothing that could be done, which is the only way that they could get it back was the plot, scheme, and plan. It was inevitable from the moment they found out what Whitney had done, allegedly, by leaving everything to her child. Her fate was sealed. This is the conglomerate of industry and family members. Half family, half industry. I smell Aunt Rat. I smell her husband too. She was the more dominant force, but he was the more deadly because he was the cowardly force, allegedly. The more passive force. In his heart, he wanted the same things, which is why he went along with it, but played the role of, I'm just the, my wife leads the shelter. But at the end of the day, they both wanted the same thing. It was just easier for him to hide behind his wife because she was the more dominant one. He was equally invested in the shenanigans, but played the role as the loving, caring brother, and even played both sides, knowing where his true loyalty lied, allegedly. The conglomerate between them and the people, the business people, who were also equally invested, the merger. That is who came together to really make all of the decisions about how everyone's fate, mother and daughter included, would be sealed so that the estate could stay. And look at the conglomerate. The unholy trinity, who felt like they were left out when Whitney Houston ran off and did what she did. Pissed, drive David off. Shocked, pissed, ooh, boiling. He could have allegedly unalived her then when he found out. He could have done it then with his bare hands. I can see his little short, frumpy self, ooh, fuming, fire hot red, like the red hot candy, the little small red hot candies, the fireballs too. Ooh, he could have, ooh, could have unalived her then with his bare hands when he found out that she went and left all her everything. Child. So let's see what happened with the decision that was made. That's the outcome. Lovers reversed. I have to put that aside and then mix up all the cards except for him. all the cards except for him, including this Lovers in Reverse. Because that wasn't the card that she wanted to use. But I was running out of cards that she wanted to use. She wants to talk about him with a fresh deck. Because she said, this is the tea, honey. So let's talk, Bobby Christina. Let's talk, my love. Would you like me to say, allegedly, she says he does this to everybody. Everybody, honey. She said the rumors are true, the conspiracy theories are true. If only you knew. She's funny. All right. Let's talk about the plot, the plan, honey. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. We're talking about this King of Swords, Drive David, allegedly. All right. A struggle. I don't know whose struggle, because I don't know if this is the mother struggle. Okay, this is the mother struggle. We're talking about the voice. In order to get to what happened to Bobby Christina, because this is the plot, then we have to start at the beginning of the plot. The death that was labeled one thing, this was a struggle. And not just a struggle amongst two people. I see like a ambush. In my mind, I see men, 3, 4. With one person being the 5th person in here. This person was allegedly the voice, the smallest person. This is actually violent because nobody drowned in no bathtub. I would love to be a fly on the wall on the original scene, because I in my spirit right now can't believe any report. Unless the report said that she was bruised and beaten, I wouldn't believe it. I wouldn't believe it. Both of them. Both of them. The voice and the little voice. The big voice and the little voice. I would imagine that this is being overpowered and allegedly, I don't know if I can say this on YouTube, but strangled. When someone is held underwater for a long period of time, unable to breathe and contain life in their body. Until this happens, so I don't have to say it out loud. 10 of Swords. Until this happens. Until the breath, because swords are air cards, until the breath leaves the body. Allegedly. This was being overpowered. Allegedly, one fighting to defend themselves, allegedly. And being submerged into a tub of water, and being held there until there was no more breath, allegedly, in one's body, in two's body, 1 and 2, until this happened. Because of this direct order. There's no other way to describe the King of Swords. This is clear communication. This is a clear decision. This is a king who appoints people in his court, makes decisions, firm decisions, without emotions. This is strictly business. This is strictly business. And that is Bobby Christina's story. And it's Bobby Christina's mother's story. Before you go, ladies, because they actually are kind enough to want to leave a message for the people, because Whitney, in all of her Leo Diva glory, knows that she is adored. She said that before I got on camera. My friend was like, I hope Whitney knows that I loved her. She knew. She knows that everybody loved her. She knew. Before she was gone, she knew just how much she was loved and adored. And her heart always was so filled with gratitude and appreciation for it. Even being a diva, it wasn't a vain diva. It was a diva who knew what God gave her and knew that she was walking in her purpose, which is why the world reacted to her the way she did, because she felt like I did my job as being a vessel for God's voice. She felt like it was God's voice just using her. She was even in awe sometimes at the voice, the sounds that came out of her body. Sometimes she was like, how? Even when she was able to perform top tier, when in her fleshly body she wasn't feeling good or feeling well, and then people would be falling all out, and she like, this is my worst day. She knew it was nobody but God. She was humbled to be able to have that voice, to be chosen as God's vessel. And so it wasn't a vain confidence or divaness. It was, I know that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing by letting God use me. This is why people react the same way, because I react the same way sometimes. It's only God. That's how she felt. All these people can't just like me because I can sing good or because there's a machine behind me. It's a machine behind a lot of people who can sing good. This is God. She knew it. And she appreciated people because of that, because she felt like these are God's fans, not mine. And that's why people loved her. Because she loved y'all, because she loved God. She saw y'all as a reflection of God, which is why she's unmatched. Even Aretha Franklin allegedly had pride and ego. Whitney didn't have pride and ego. She had confidence in her God-given abilities. They want me to give you all an oracle card. It's time to take action. And methinks that this isn't a message for fans, subscribers. Methinks that this is a message to people in the industry who know who they are. Whitney Houston said it's time to take action. Certain things have been going on for long enough, and she feels let down by people in the industry because y'all knew. Y'all knew what was going on right before it happened. Y'all knew what was about to go on, but you were afraid. But she feel like if all of y'all had have gotten together, they can't kill everybody at once. As many people that said that they loved me turned a blind eye. I hear a name, but I won't say it because I know she struggled with this, and she still struggles with this. Their name rhymes with Candy. Whitney forgives you, but she wants you to forgive yourself, allegedly. Because you too were too afraid for your own life. And you had a stay in check moment too. But it's time to take action, because y'all have let this go on long enough when you didn't have to. It's just like y'all are lazy at this point. It's not that you don't feel like you could do something now. You're just lazy. Whitney said it's time to take action before you let another one face the same fate that her child, and many others have faced in the industry, especially at the hands of Drive David. And with that being said, I thank Whitney and Bobby Christina for their energy. I will dismiss them in love and peace. My dears, I thank you for using me to be a vessel. I am honored to be a voice for the voice and her little voice, her little big voice, because you're not a little voice. Both of the voices. I thank you for letting three voices come together to speak. Ashe and amen to you. And with that being said, Ashe and amen to you. Bye.